is a presentation of the iRacing Esports Network.
An icon reborn. A new season begins. Drivers must face off wheel to wheel with only one goal: to be crowned champion. Experience the competition and the glory days of early 80s IndyCar action. Hear the song of 500 horsepower Cosworth engines. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Without electronic driver aids, it creates the perfect combination of man, machine, and speed. The Lionheart Retro Series, presented by HPP Simulation, starts now.
Submitted for your approval, a dominance, seemingly unstoppable, has taken over this series. And if you're a driver fortunate enough to have it in your mirrors, keep thinking happy thoughts or be wished into the cornfield. Presented by HPP Simulations, the Lionheart Retro Series comes to Iowa for the American Cancer Society 150. And you can see all the retro Lotus 79 action from Green Flag to Victory Donuts live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. From the state where they build a field of dreams, hello and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green, presented by the Sim Pit. As cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the simulated IR-18 action that will immediately follow as we count down to green for the American Cancer Society 150. Adam Young is on assignment, so that means yours truly, Bill Soupson, is slipping into the driver's seat to bring you our bird's eye view. Riding shotgun tonight, it's Nick Smilig. As usual, I'm Jed Yaman, as director duties, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Well, folks, old-timers here at GSRC have been asked to stop referencing things from before this century, but it just didn't seem fair to deny the new viewers on the iRacing Esports Network the pleasure of being confused that all of you longtime viewers have learned to tolerate. So with that in mind, the broadcast opened up with an homage to the Twilight Zone episode, It's a Good Life from, get this, 1953, where a young boy strikes fear in the hearts of his fellow townfolk by being able to wish them into the cornfield if they do something he doesn't like. And as the series visits Iowa, and with youngster Alexander striking the same type of fear in his fellow competitors, I just couldn't resist making the connection. But to be a little more matter of fact, this is the second time Iowa has been on the Retro Series schedule in as many seasons. Iowa has been home to the big sister IndyCar series for many seasons. In fact, Lionheart has its roots right here. So, with all the talk of cornfields and Twilight Zones and past winners, let's bring in lickety-split Nick Smilig to talk about the actual racetrack.
Well, thanks, Soup. I don't know much about cornfields or Twilight Zones, but I do know a little bit about this track. Located in small town Newton, Iowa, you'll find a 7/8 mile paved oval racing track that was designed by none other than Rusty Wallace and opened only 12 years ago in 2006. We call that racing venue Iowa Speedway, where you'll see a mix between the inspiration from Richmond International Raceway, as well as the bumpiness created from cold Midwestern winters and hot Iowa summers. It's been a fan favorite ever since its addition to the NASCAR Truck and Xfinity Series in 2009, and it's surely going to be exciting tonight. Let's hop on board and take a lap here in the GSRC Lotus 79 Lap Guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Iowa Speedway in the classic Lotus 79. So without further ado, here we go. Iowa Speedway is a fun, almost 9/10 of a mile speedway right out in the middle of cornfield America. Down here into turn 1, let it kind of float over that bump and then cut it down, find the yellow line for the hot lap. Kind of maybe for these cars, maybe run down the backstretch, middle of that. You don't need to go all the way up to the wall. Down here into turn 3, let it just roll out of the gas, maybe a hair. Catch the bottom, float it, and then driving it on out. Now, as the race progresses and the tires wear out, you might see guys move around this little place. So you might see guys down here into turn 1. Stay up here in the second groove. Avoid that bump down there in turn 1 entirely, and then straight off of the corner. And then up here into turn 3, you might see guys all the way up here, anywhere in between the middle, top, or bottom. Off of turn 4, getting a nice straight shot, maybe pick up a draft across the line. That's going to complete our track guide here around the Iowa Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
And that lap guide description, as well as the entire countdown to green, comes courtesy of our sponsor, The Sim Pit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its mission is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional video and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com.
Hey, welcome to the Lionheart Series. Everybody stumbles on that line, the how-tos. Now you've been christened, you're part of the team. Hey, and a fine sponsor, those guys are indeed. You know, another fine sponsor is the guys at HPP Simulations, who sponsored the Retro Series driver standings. We'll take a look at those right now. Now, these results reflect the best 11 of 13 possible results, take into account the 2 drop races allowed for in the rules. Adam Blocker owns the lead over in the IndyCar series, but there are 2 big differences between there and here. First, they race different cars, and second, Alex Saunders doesn't race over there. The top 4 drivers all have wins, and each on 4 different teams. How about this? Nighthawk, Adrenaline, Raven, and 8-Ball fill up the first 4 spots. Of course, Alex Saunders with that 37-point lead. And another 8-Ball driver to watch, Justin Weaver, is the big mover, up 3 spots on the heels of a third at Zolder. Let's go ahead and take a look at the team championships now, and that's brought to you thanks to Clipping That Apex. Once again, let's talk about 8-Ball, as they are keeping Raven Motorsports honest by winning the day at Zolder. Justin Weaver came home 3rd, Michael Goodman was 5th, and Dan Guerin chipped in points from 11th. The wheels have come off the cart for Loud Pedal Motorsports, dropping yet another row down into 8th. Skidmark moves up. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and look down now into the rookie championships. Now, you know, there's only been 2 seasons so far, so these rookie championships basically could be called the, hey, why weren't you here last season championship? But there you see Alex Saunders leading in the overall standings, dominating over here as well. Goodman, Yazek, Weaver, and Krahula, your top 5. Guy to watch out for, Samuel Ryman, not actually on here. That's right, he's only a rookie over in the Lionheart. Okay, that takes care of that. Let's go ahead and talk about what the Lionheart is. It sanctions both this Retro Series and the Big Sister Series, the IndyCar Series. Both campaigns honor the memory of the original Lionheart, Dan Weldon. And now, let's go ahead and talk about the Retro Series details. Nick?
All right, and these series details come to us thanks to The Sim Pit. As Soup mentioned earlier, Season 2 here in the Retro Lionheart series. Round 14 of 18 tonight at Iowa in the Lotus 79 as always. Using adjusted fixed setups tonight, and probably the best part of all for the drivers, cash and prizes purse this year just short of $4,400 American dollars.
Ooh, look at that. One of the prizes is I believe they are offering either a wheel or a set of pedals from HPP. I'll find out more when we get to our plug. Well, it's nighttime here in Iowa, which means I imagine that the ambient temperature is probably about the same as the track temperature. Let's see what it is. Well, look at that. I guess the moonlight counts for 2 degrees. 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 82 on the track. Nick, that's probably should make for some good racing.
Yeah, fast is the first word that comes to mind when I see those temperatures. It's going to be fun. They're going to be flying into those turns, and it's going to feel a little bit like a super speedway tonight under those conditions.
Lap times of under 20 seconds. Practice times right now, the best one being put up there by David Altman, putting it in a 19.3. Michael Goodman, a 19.4. Now, these old Lotus 79 tires, we don't expect them to wear out much. They are rock hard. Drivers going around. Practice is just about over. Nick, some racetracks, qualifying doesn't matter because the passing's going to be easy. My gut tells me this is the kind of place where you want to get yourself a good qualifying run because passing may be at a premium.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to get stuck in the back here. Chaos ensuing in front of you. Not many escape route options for you in front of you. You got a fairly narrow track. Not what you want to have happen. I would definitely rather start in the front half of the field tonight.
It's funny. The cars are the same size no matter where you go, but depending on what track you put them on, sometimes they seem really small. Here, they seem really big. Riding on board now with Bob Mikus, racing in the HPP onboard camera. You saw that video lap guy earlier, how to go fast around here. Of course, that was done in the daytime. Nighttime, he's probably get around even a little faster.
Yeah, and lots of different lines to take here. You're going to see a lot of guys on the bottom line in the turns, a lot of the guys on the high line. You get a big run out of the corners here. And being under the lights just makes that all the more fun.
And no surprise, Alex Saunders finds himself at the top with a 19.4. But Bob Mikus got out early. He's still sitting in second. Little by little, they start to roll in.
Yeah, and so far, quite a bit of diversity in the lap times for a short oval. You have a 19.4 at the front as Michael Goodman just went to the front by 2 1/1000ths of a second.
The man trying to do well in the points, Adam Blocker down there in 17th. Maybe he's just sandbagging a bit. And as I say that, he jumps up for about 13 positions. Field of about, it looks to be a pretty good size field, about 33, 34 cars here tonight. Don't want to get much more of those on this little track. There's Andrew Kinsella.
That's lots of cars you have to worry about tonight.
Lap traffic, short little racetrack, big field, that should be a big factor. Oh, careful there, Andy. Best he can do is 18th. There's the black and white car of Chris Lanini. Lanini up to P4 and in a run now with Samuel Ryman for the cleanest driver award. So good to see him doing so well. There's Tony Schowen. Ooh, love that shot from above the helmet there, kind of the airbox.
Definitely gives you a perspective of how fast this track is with these cars flying around here.
I gotta check my stats. If I remember right, if I've done my homework, Tony might be making his first race of the season here in the Lionheart Series. He's coming back just to defend. He won this race last time out. Brian Yosik down in 26, but that's kind of, sometimes we're used to seeing that. He might just back there taking it easy. And yes, I was correct on that. Tony Schowen making his debut in the Season 2 debut, coming back just to defend his crown. Okay, well, it looks like qualifying is done. So let's run these down here. And when it is time to go racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the United States on CNC equipment. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com. And now, let's give you the HPP starting grid. We'll take it a row at a time. Michael Goodman and Alex Saunders fill up the front row. Nick?
Bob Mikes, Chris Lanini going to be starting third and fourth on that second row.
Adam Blocker, who's trying to get the championship, going to be inside of James Berhula.
James Brandt, Dan Guerin right behind them in the 15 and the 8 cars.
Row 5 is going to be populated by Mark Cohn, welcome to the series, and the Milk Dud, Robert Dudley in 10th.
In the number 1 car, starting 11th, going to be Jake C. Wright, and right beside him, Dustin Wardlow in the 29.
In the Baker's Dozen position is Chris Walker, flanked by Tony Schowen.
And after that, row number 8 is going to be made up of Ron Hacker and Travis Jurgenliner.
17th and 18th go to Scott Johnson and Bart Workman.
Right behind them, Cody Wenzen, Vincent Bluthenthal.
Hitting blackjack, it's David Altman. In the double duck spot, Andrew Havakech Kinsella.
Row 12, Robert Bluen and Chris Stouffer in the 7 car.
All right, there's been a discussion how to pronounce his name. We're going with Mark Amick in the quarter-century mark inside of Brian Yazik.
And right behind them, Brian Beard and Samuel Ryman in the 63.
29th and 30th, George Anzaldo and George Adams. A couple of Georges down there in the bottom.
No one else has more cars to pass tonight than Cody Eldred in the 50 and Frank Beeser in the 32.
And now the drivers begin the little meeting going on as they're going to start to grid their cars. They're going to roll out of pit lane, it looks like. Beautiful night to go racing. We have 3 onboard cameras, but you know what you want to do? If you want more iRacing action, make sure you subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network. You can see the little thing right there on our screen. We're very pleased to be part of the Broadcast Net family. And we're going to do one more time, Director. Oh, okay. We're going to look down there as we're waiting for them to roll. We don't want to go to our onboard cameras and take a look at a stationary shot in the pit lane. Not so much. Boy, a big field here today. You can hear the race control giving everybody a little bit of coaching, trying to get this one in. I think we're going to have 2 laps here today, if I know my rules for pace laps. Because we are just under a mile. We'll see if that's true or not.
Yeah, you might want that extra pace lap to get some of the last-second nerves out before this one starts.
Did a race the other day where the pace car actually forgot to pull off on the green flag. Just kind of stayed out there for a while, and everyone just kind of drove around it.
Interesting, yes.
It was, yeah. Let's go and look at some onboard cameras. So we're going to start here with Tony Schowen in the SimPit onboard camera. You know, Sean Cole has been doing what he does over there for a long time. Check him out at thesimpit.com. Then we have, of course, Chris Lanini for Butt Kicker. Like Shakespeare said, better to have haptically immersed and lost than never to have haptically immersed at all. And finally, we'll go to Bob Mikas in the HPP onboard machine. HPP, designed to go fast, built to last. It's a good catchphrase. It's not Shakespeare, but it'll work. So we ride off the back of Bob Mikas. And yes, we do have a spotlighted driver, and it is today. It is Samuel Ryman. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Hopefully, he will avoid the curse of the spotlighted driver. Yep, and they're going to get him 2 laps. Nick, you ready for this?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if the drivers are. I hope they are.
This will be fun. Let's hope we get some nice long green flag runs in, get some green flag stops, see the leaders negotiate some lap traffic. Everyone watching at their local branch of the Backmarkers United want to see some lap traffic being negotiated. We have time. Let's quickly put up the race analysis so we know exactly how far we're going here today, if we can. There you see, 172 laps of racing. Look at that fuel. We think they go about 72. Let's add 3 more laps on there. Easier math. Let's call it 75 for a stint. Looks like it's going to be a 2-stopper. We'll see how tires play out, though. Might be one of those cases where tires give up first, but usually that's not the case in these Lotuses. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. Michael Goodman leads the stampede down into the first corner. Alex Saunders up on the high side in the second position. Bob Mikas peeking down in there for third. It's not going to happen. Adam Blocker and Chris Sleepy Lanini round out your top 5.
Looks like everyone cleanly through the first lap here as they're going to start going single file.
Yes, indeed, and they do start to sort out the back half of your top 10. James Brandt, James Grahula, Dandy Dan Guerin, the newcomer Mark Cohn in 9th, and multi-time champion Jake Wright back there in 10th. They are single file up front, but that's not the case farther back. It's a pinata full of bees back about 16th position. Scott Johnson, Travis Jagerliner, racing in staggered formation.
Lots of side-by-side racing back here. Haven't seen any 3 wide yet. I'm not sure if I should have said that. I might have jinxed it.
Nick, I got a hunch the guys in the back don't want to be first to be last. They are really working hard.
Yeah, I don't blame them. They are fast up front.
All right, they are spread out as the leaders all get about a 10-car gap between them. I have not been out there in the car. I didn't race the setup. I don't know how it feels, but from just looking at it, I'm beginning to see a little bit of aero push there. It looks like nobody can get up behind the other one.
Yeah, and the shorter the track, the less fun aero push becomes in these cars as well. When you're going in those turns, it's crucial that you can hit all your points.
Good battle back for 7th. The car on the top side that is blinking for me, that is James Grahula, the JMK supply machine. He gets a good run. Dan Guerin was trying to get underneath him. It didn't work. Let's see if Guerin tries it one more time. Grahula's leaving the inside open if Dandy Dan wants it.
I know in the full-sized Indy cars, it is so hard to get a run on that bottom lane here. But it's also so hard to defend on the top side. It sounds silly to say, but it is chaos in the cockpit for those drivers right now.
Guerin gets him. Move him up into 7th. Grahula back to 8th. Grahula not going to surrender the Casper as he stays right behind him. Gets a good run out of 2. Is he going to fight back? Usually not James' style to be so aggressive early on, and I think he's just back there saying, I'm here. Drop back to 10th. This is another good battle. The Candy Man out there racing in the DeWars Candy Machine. Dustin Wardlow being challenged by multi-time champion Jake Wright. And then you can see a little bit farther back, maybe even more intensive, is Tony Schoen in 12th. The Milk Dud, Robert Dudley in 13th, and Ron Hacker in 14th.
A lot of these drivers in a tough mental situation. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive early, but you also don't want to find yourself halfway through this race stuck in 21st.
They are evenly spaced up front. What you're looking at right there, that's the one. Ron Hacker, and these guys have been side by side. That's Dudley on the top side, Ron Hacker on the bottom. Look at the momentum that Dudley gets up top, though.
It is such a huge run when you come off turn 2 and turn 4 here.
And even when Hacker closes the door, it just opens up the bottom for Dudley to try to stick it down in there.
They get battling too hard, they're going to have Scott Johnson joining the party here soon.
There's Johnson back there in that Skidmark Motorsports car. Looking up at Dudley. I love the colors of Dudley's car. I'm going to say, is that white and yellow? Is that what that is? Or is it white and green? I always get that wrong. What do you think, Nick? Help out your colorblind partner. What do you think? White and yellow?
You know, I'd say yellow. I'm thinking more dandelion here.
Oh, I like you.
But, you know, I think we can find common ground and say yellow, yeah.
My partner, Adam Young, would never come up with dandelion. Hey, good to be next to you.
Maybe I should have said sunflower since we're in Iowa.
That's it. Maize, maybe, huh? Dudley and Johnson going at each other still. All right, let's take a peek in here at P4. We haven't talked much about James Brandt. He's back there stalking Adam Blocker in the blue car.
The one thing I'm noticing here early is with this setup, at least almost 20 laps in, you don't get a huge suck up in front of you on the car. Not a huge draft. So you really got to be good getting a run off of turns 2 and 4 to get your momentum here.
We've gone, knock on imitation wood, 20 laps without a yellow flag. This is great. We'll go back to this pinata full of bees back here about 8. Oh my goodness, this is a madhouse. The car on the low side, that is Travis Jagerliner. Flying around the top with Brian Yazik in that blue and white machine. Kinsella also. Jagerliner in the 44 in that Ultramarm car, racing the low line and just getting gobbled up. Now that's George Adams and Vincent Blumenthal coming up on him.
Someone needs to tell these guys back here that Talladega in the NASCAR iRacing Series isn't for a couple more weeks.
Not sure what Jagerliner's up to. He's the only guy perpetually racing that line down there. Doing a good job. Adams and Blumenthal, the two cars that have them sandwiched.
One of the most dangerous parts, like Jürgen Liner's doing down there, riding the bottom line, is trying to hold that line and not slide up, especially if you've got a guy to your outside.
There's George Adams. Our leader is coming, and when he gets there, he's not going to be able to pick them off one at a time. He's going to get right into that mess of cars. And they are racing. There's Michael Goodman. He's got about half a straightaway.
I sure hope they figure out the double file situation when Goodman gets to him.
Now the first one he's got to hit Brian Beard in 32nd. Beard all by himself. This one should be, well, now we're going to see let's talk arrow push. Let's see how quickly Goodman can get around Beard. He does that pretty easy. Nick, I got a hunch. When Goodman gets up to these guys, he's going to have his hands full, not just because of traffic. Walker is loose. Did it all by himself, coming off a 2. Now he spins down onto the inside, does not bounce up into the racing line, so the stewards keep it under green. We're right on board with Walker. Yeah, this started to get in the outside, and after that, no stopping it. Well, we have our first victim. Now let's go back to the leader. He's already got a couple. He got Beard. And there's Jagerliner taking his low line. Goodman going high. Let's give you an opportunity to give you the interval now between Goodman and the man who's chasing him through traffic, Alex Saunders. That interval, 0.7 of a second.
About 5 or 10 laps ago, it was about 0.9 of a second, or 1 full second, so he's definitely closing in thanks to this lap traffic.
Now, if I'm a back marker, and Lord knows I have been most of my career, I'm leaving the inside open, just like Cody Ellard is doing right there. And Eldred gets that line, leaves it right there. Goodman gets underneath it. But here comes Alex Saunders.
He got that down to 0.4 of a second on that one. Pretty impressive chase he's putting on Michael Goodman right now.
Now the next up, Frank Beezer in 28th position. They're working lap 31. Not even quite through halfway through a fuel run yet. Jagerliner's coming in. You know what? I honestly think he might be just doing the math backwards here and be thinking 72. Well, let's call 75. That's the number that's easier for my math. That's 150. Add on 33. That's 100. He's good to go on just 2 more stops. Look at this for P4. Blocker and Brandt. Honestly, Bob Mikus in the mix too. They got poor Brian Beard ahead of him, the lap car. Oh, that was the blue car, and Blocker really got caught up in the wash, had to get out of it.
Yeah, lots of aero push there. Almost a disaster.
And Brandt couldn't capitalize. Poor Brian Beard, he's got to put the car somewhere. It's not invisible.
Oh.
Oh, no. There's a little contact. That was Blocker going underneath him. And honestly, I'm not so sure if Beard's car didn't get a little loose on the top.
It's one of the dangers of being on that inside lane that I talked about earlier. Was the caution flag?
Oh, Altman. David Altman made contact with George Adams. Adams going underneath, Altman in the Mountain Dew car on top. They lock wheels, they go into the wall, and we have our first caution. Holy moly, as we'll look at it from above. Could not have come at a better time for George Anzaldo, who was about to be lapped. Whee!
He was just about eye level with our booth there.
All right. Well, we got in a good run as that first caution comes at lap 36. And that means everybody's coming in.
If you thought it was hectic out on the track, it might get a little hectic down here on pit road. Just a tad bit.
Now, I gotta think you have to take tires, but I'm telling you, you're new to this series. So often they say, no, we're not gonna take tires. Let's see if Goodman actually puts the car up. Not yet. Not yet. No tires. Now, with only topping off, maybe they couldn't get the tires done in time. Maybe that's why. Or maybe it's just they feel good when these tires get a little bit worn. So, how do they come out? Goodman, Saunders, Mikus, Blocker, Brandt, Lanini, Guerin, Krahula, and Cone. Hey, Mark Cone again. That newcomer doing great.
No tires after 38 laps. The inner diehard NASCAR person in me is just shivering right now.
Yes, it's been the whole storyline, the whole season long with these guys. How just basically unbreakable these old
what
tires
is the
40
series?
Years are. Yeah. So Robert Bluen did not come in, and you know, he might want to stay out there for a while. This may I don't think this is him just being silly. I think this is his track position move. Now he's going to come in. Well, with this little break, this gives us time to talk about one of our sponsors. Let's go ahead and talk about one of our favorite ones, and that would be Butt Kicker. Now, let me tell you something. The Guldemeyer Company is the maker of marine mammal safe, low-frequency products better known as Butt Kicker. If you are like me and enjoy the thrill of being haptically immersed, if you find that a subwoofer that just moves air doesn't do it for you because it loses accuracy and force, and only the actual power and accuracy of the movement of mass provides that haptic immersion that you require to get that missing driver-to-car connection, then Butt Kicker products are the only way to go. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order. I have one more thing. Find out more by visiting them on Facebook at facebook.com/MidwestSim. You know what I have done at home? I've hooked up my Butt Kicker. I have one of these homemade Geiger counters, so I guess that would be like for radiation. Mine is a seismograph. That's what I'm talking about. I have it hooked up to my homemade seismograph, so if there's an earthquake, the Butt Kicker starts to shake, and I know that the earthquake's going on in case I have my helmet on and I don't realize there's an earthquake. Pretty good idea, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting take on it. So you'll know for sure.
That's it.
When the earthquake strikes, you are going to be the one laughing, and I'm going to be the one that wishes. Yes.
I'll know there's an earthquake because my seat will be shaken from the Butt Kicker. I told myself I was going to behave, that you were here. It's like when you have guests come over and you're on your best behavior. I'm trying. All right. Well, all the nonsense of the lap cars have gone in. Bluen came in, took his stop. So sure enough, the lights are off the pace car. It is Michael Goodman, Saunders, Micus, Blocker, and Brandt, your top 5. Brandt has been working on that blue car of Blocker for most of the race. Let's see what Alex Saunders can do here. Oh, he's not going to do anything from second position. He gets a horrible jump. Bob Micus says, let's go, rookie. Battle back for 7th on the top side. That's Lanini side by side. Dan Guerin underneath him. Guerin in 6th. Lanini looking to do the up and under. Not going to happen.
Pretty dangerous to pull off some aggressive crossovers here at this track. When you have a guy on the inside sliding up in front of you, but you have such a huge run coming off the top side.
29 cars on the lead lap, the last one being Samuel Ryman. There's Sam. Let's go ahead and look at our spotlighted driver before something, well, before the curse finds him. Now you see, we have a live action and we have recorded action because that's what we can do here at GSRC. 21 career starts, doesn't have a pole yet, that's coming. Doesn't have a win yet, that's coming. But he does have 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s. His first race was at Michigan back in season 1, and he has actually petted a tiger. Not only do we give you the stats, but we get a little bit of personal information for you. We have to be careful about the personal information. We don't want to run foul of the new European internet rules. I think I can safely say that he petted a tiger without us getting pulled. Uh-oh. Kurhula is having trouble, and he is having trouble now because he's barrel rolling. He put it in the wall, right in front. Oh, my goodness, and then getting a piece of him going by was the rookie Mark Cohn. Oh, Mark. How much did he get? I don't know. It bent up his wing. This is just a mistake from the yellow car. Go ahead.
And Dustin Wardlow getting by him went right down to the apron. And I believe he had to slam on the brakes. He hit that inside wall.
Oh, Wardlow made a great move, but I think he just ran out of left side track. Watch this from the Candyman. Where are you going to go? I'll go here. I'm okay. Oh! That is truly bittersweet. He avoided the crash, found the wall. Well, with the yellows coming back-to-back, what we'll do right now is take a short break here on the Global Sim Racing channel and the iRacing Esports Network. Don't go far!
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Making his 20th career start, you're looking at Michael Goodman here on the Global Sim Racing channel via the iRacing Esports Network. And of course, this is the Lionheart Retro Series. What's our race? Well, it's the American Cancer Society 150. Where are we? Iowa Speedway. Right now, the lights are off the pace car. It ducks in. We're ready to go racing again. We'll be working lap 53. And there is your leader. He's been the leader the whole race except for just a few laps under yellow. Michael Goodman, Alex Saunders chasing him. Micus, Blocker, and Brandt, the familiar, step in the back. Oh, here comes Blocker with a move underneath for third. But again, it stalls. Blocker tries he might to keep the momentum up on the inside for that blue car. He's going to try to hold that position. They race like Cialis Batcrubs. Out of two, and now finally a little bit of a lift from Micus. Blocker should be able to close the deal. He does! And a Blocker up to third.
I'm guessing James Brandt had to get out of the gas there a little bit, not to slam into the back of him when they were running side by side there.
Oh my goodness, this is where the action is for third position. Oh, and Micus tried to take a move underneath. He lost all of his momentum. James Brandt's going to capitalize from the mistake from the meat man. Micus back to fifth, fighting back.
That was a good reaction there by Brandt. That could have been bad if he had held his line there.
In what we like to call the popcorn position, watching the show, Dan Guerin back in sixth.
He went into turn 3 there, looking to make a move on James Brandt. He left turn 4, trying to keep Dan Guerin behind him. Very eventful here.
They start to settle down a little bit. All this going on behind first, second, and third, which are just out there having a nice little Thursday night drive. Goodman, Saunders, and Blocker. Blocker with almost a second over the guys playing around in fourth. We have a caution, and as well as Cody Elred. Is it Bluthenthal? We're hearing it's Bluthenthal. I'm showing Frank Beezer, honestly, in mine, so it might be all of them. And Zaldo involved in it as well. Yeah, we're going to think it started with Bluthenthal, and then all heck broke out. The worst of it was Frank Beezer really got it. Let's see what we can find. Yep, sure enough. Looks like Workman involved in it as well, and I'm still trying to see Bluthenthal having his issues. This was a big one. So Beezer really gets it now. Bluthenthal was on the outside. You can see they get together. Bluthenthal and Workman get together. Beezer goes by, clips him, and goes up into the fence. George Anzaldo does a great job. George, did you hit anything? Maybe get one more look at that. I don't care how we look at it, but let's look at George Anzaldo. This is a case of just locking him up and cranking it, locking it up and cranking it left. Yeah. Nice job.
Looks like a lot of those guys, like Frank Beezer, just had nowhere to go when that broke out.
How's your carnage dodging skills, Nick? You good at that?
Well, you generally want to have a wing on your car. So, I mean, Frank Beezer in the pits right now looks more like a Lotus 49, but you know, it might still be salvageable. Probably not. I don't know.
Well, looks like there are going to be no takers, at least up front, for a pit stop. Well, since we just had a break, and we're not going to go to break again, how about we entertain you by talking about one more of our sponsors. Now, this one I don't want to play around with because this is some serious stuff. I want to talk about the American Cancer Society. They are the sponsors of this race. Now, here's the deal. The American Cancer Society is a nationwide voluntary health organization dedicated to eliminating cancer. Established way back over 100 years ago in 1913, the society is organized into 11 geographical divisions of both medical and lay volunteers operating in more than 900 offices throughout the United States. Now, if you want to get involved to find out more information, it's really pretty easy. Just go to www.cancer.org. You know, iRacing and what we do here in the Lionheart, it's so silly and it's for fun and we joke about it, but it's nice that we can do some good stuff too. So if we can help out with that fine charity, that fine organization, that's something we want to do. Bart Workman, taking a little visit into pit lane. He's got the HPP sponsorship on his car as we zoom in on him. Give us a wave, Bart. That's coming in the next build. Nick, I'm just spitballing here. I think that would be a kind of a cool thing if you had like some buttons you could push and it would let the hand of your simulated drivers make signals. You could like do a thumbs up to the guy going by, or
you know, I can think of some cool some cool ways that would be used, but I'm not so sure the wave would be the #1 hand gesture made by the drivers.
I'm not sure we give them all the available options.
I mean, you know, there's going to be someone that downloads a package where you can do that, you know. I can see that snowballing, but, you know.
I've always felt this of somebody saying that I'm #1. That's how I always take it.
Yeah.
All right, well, Lord, let's hope the lights are off the pace car here. Okay. Our director says they are. Michael Goodman, Alex Saunders, Adam Blocker. 1, 2, 3. Now, James Brandt has worked up to 4. Bob Mikas was really having his issues. Look for Dan Guerin to make quick work of him. Guerin back in 6th. Chris Lanini in 7th. Working lap number 63. Our hard charger, Brian Yasa. We'll talk more about him in a minute, but right now it's time to go racing. You can hear the engine start to roar. Michael Goodman gets a good jump. Hey, here comes Adam Blocker underneath Saunders. Now, these guys are the two guys racing for the championship.
That was a great jump there by Adam Blocker. Got right down to the inside. Looks like he might be able to get a run. Not quite. Give him a few laps. He might be able to get up there and make a pass on him.
Tried to put that 74 and make it stick down low. Brandt in fourth, Micus in fifth. They start to sort themselves out. Let's look at 10th. Ron Hacker and Jake Wright side by side. Hacker was first to the finish line. He's on the bottom. Let's see if momentum from Wright on the top side will pay off. And it does.
These straightaways here at Iowa Speedway, especially that back straightaway, they're just the perfect length where you can get the run on someone in front of you to propel yourself down below them and get side by side with them. But the turns are perfectly shaped on the top side so that you can just get the run out of them and just tease the guy that just got the run on you on the inside.
They're side by side. That's our hard charger, Brian Yazik. He's working there with Chris Stouffer. Right on board with Stouffer, looking up at Bryant. Yazik started in 26th position. He's cut that in half and then some as he races in 12th. Bart Workman is slow. Remember, we saw him making some pit stops. I think he might be calling it an Iowa night. He's still, no. Yeah, he's going to, not sure what Bart's up to. First car one lap down. Our director says maybe he missed pit lane. Well, 2 laps ago, Michael Goodman put in the fastest lap. Apparently that wasn't good enough for him because 1 lap ago he put in the fastest lap. And how about one more fastest lap? That is called cooking with hot fish grease, baby.
Let's see if he can just exponentially get that time faster here.
Well,
there's your big word of the day, by the way.
If that's the case, by the time the race is over, he'll be running like 12-second laps. Yeah. Exponentially, again, you are just on fire. Another thing Adam Young would never use exponentially.
Yeah.
Or dandelion.
That's that Pennsylvania vocabulary I bring to the table.
Oh, my goodness. I love you, Adam, but don't hurry back. Going to ride on board with Micus now. Micus, I thought, was having trouble. Must have been listening to the broadcast, because right now he wants that spot back from Brandt.
Looks like back up front, Goodman quickly closing in on lap traffic. Cody Eldred and Bart Workman.
Yeah, Workman's been having issues. He's more than 1 lap down now. Is Eldred? Yeah, he's the guy. He's officially the last car on the lead lap. They've been out there for about 38 laps this stint. Some of that under yellow, a lot of that under yellow.
Alex Saunders really closed the gap there as Goodman was trying to work around some too wide traffic there.
Yeah, this might be the best chance that Saunders has to make the pass as they work on Eldred. Cody up there in the 50 machine. Look at Alex Saunders is waiting back there, waiting for Goodman to make a mistake.
Looks like after they get around Eldred, the next car in line is not for quite some time.
And you know, Saunders might have a little easier case with lap traffic than Goodman does. It's a little easier for the second place car to lap to put a car lap down than it is the leader. As a back marker, once you've surrendered the lead lap, you don't quite have as much vim and vigor as you did while you were on the lead lap.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see what lines are working at the certain time for Goodman to get around them. Who's going where? Who's staying high? Who's staying low? Letting you go by? Who's going to fight you for the lead lap?
Right on board with Blocker. Let's go to P15. This is a nice battle. Now, one of these guys is a rookie, Cody Wenzen. He's back there in the number 67 machine. He's looking to the inside of Scott Johnson, and he gets it. Now, leader of the pack is Chris Stouffer. Oh, look at the momentum that Wenzen loses.
Wenzen was doing a great job. He was right on the high line, and he made a crossover move down to the inside and really carried out that momentum well.
He does not like the low line. Wenzen got down there, and that car just would not go anywhere. That's Kinsella up on top. The slow car now. That's Bart Workman trying to get out of the way.
Andrew Kinsella just getting boxed in back here and nowhere to go to pass people.
Now, just behind these three cars, wait a minute, we'll stay on this. We'll see if Kinsella makes a move here. I'll just tell you what I was thinking. We don't need to go there. Robert Dudley, and then one of our other hard chargers, George Adams, is back in 18th. Adams started 30th. Up, but I didn't check. He did not put in a qualifying time. So, just like if you're in court, all you listening to her, disregard everything I just said. It's not admissible to be a hard charger if you didn't put in a qualifying time. Sorry, George.
Man, Andrew Kinsella getting some great runs on Scott Johnson. His front wing is just about underneath that gearbox.
Boy, he keeps trying to dip it under there. Can't do it.
A couple of laps ago, he was right, almost... I can't believe they didn't make contact. He was so close. It looked almost like bump drafting.
We can stay here. I'll just report that Saunders and Goodman have cleared all the traffic. Blocker as well. They're in clear air. This is where we want to watch. Working lap 89. Up to Chris Sleepy Lanini in 7th position on board with the butt kicker onboard camera. About a second and a half behind Dan Garrett.
A lot of these drivers up here have a pretty comfortable cushion in front of them and behind them. On lap 90 right now, I wonder how many of these drivers are just content sitting here until either the next caution or the next cycle of pit stops happens.
We're past the halfway mark and we look at 10th position. Right and our hard charger, Brian Yazik. Ron Hacker back there, the third car in line. Right, qualified in 11th, racing in 10th. Not the case for Yazik, 26th to 11th. And a few spots picked up from Ron Hacker. They're going to be closing in on Mark Cohn pretty soon. I'll tell you, Mark Cohn picked up wing damage in one of the incidents. He was able to come in, get that car fixed up. It looks nice and clean.
Yeah, great rebound there for the newcomer. Still running 9th.
Nice blue livery on that car.
That's a Mediterranean blue, I believe, there.
Oh, thank you. Cohn actually making his 3rd start of the season. Let's see what his best finish so far is. About 18th at Zolder, so he's well on his way to having his best result this season. Good job. Now, if we look at P6, this is Guerin and Bob Mikas. Guerin has got around Mikas now. There you go. Oh, it is. I'm sorry. It is P5. I apologize. Yeah. Mikas back in 6th. Mikas had been in 5th position for so long, I just assumed that that's where he was, but no, he has fallen back to 6th. So Guerin up to 5th. And the cars behind him, that's Chris Lanini working underneath Cody Eldred there.
He's been struggling a bit to get around Eldred as well, even though Eldred a lapped car running 24th.
There's Kinsella trying to make it work. He's out. Oh, he has no momentum on the low side. Oh, Scott Johnson does a great job of not getting into his rear end. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Now on the top side, Scotty trying to get a little momentum going. Oh, Kinsella drives it in deeper than Beatnik Poetry, but look at the drive from Scott Johnson up top. But he can't clear him, and now he does.
After every lap ticks off, these drivers in the corners are giving each other less and less space in the turns. Their lines are becoming narrower and narrower.
63 laps so far on this stint of tires for everybody. Let's go up to our leader right now as he negotiates around George and Zaldo in 21st.
And Saunders has that down to 0.3 of a second.
Yep.
Adam Blocker even within a second in 3rd place.
And Zaldo knows the pit window's coming pretty soon. Chances of a yellow flag are coming out. George is not going to want to give this up easy. He won't block. But he's going to make Michael do it down low. This could be Saunders' opportunity to make something happen. Saunders with a pretty good run off of 4. Gets it down to 2 car lengths. 1 car length right in there. Touches him. Loses it. Catches it. Right in front of Blocker. Holy moly. Sometimes when opportunity knocks, you got to take it.
That was an incredible save by Alex Saunders. With the aerodynamics on these cars, he probably should have gone around there, but somehow held on to it. And now the caution comes out.
Kinsella. Oh, and getting caught up in it. Going by was Cody Winsen. Everybody else clears. Kinsella just got loose on his own.
Yeah, didn't make contact with Scott Johnson. As soon as he said Kinsella with the caution, I assumed him and Johnson had been getting racing a little too aggressively, but no. All by himself went around there.
The Milkta, that's that car we talked about, the yellow and white car going by. Boy, he almost got part of it. Nice job from Robert Dudley. This happened right in front of him. I don't know if he had time to relax or react or if this thing didn't clear. Right on board with the Milkta right now. Woo! Well, we were getting close to pit stop time, and that yellow flag came out just perfect. Goodman comes in, Blocker. Now Saunders has worked his way up to 3rd after having his little issue in the gearbox of Goodman.
Perfectly timed caution there for Alex Saunders, though.
Yes, indeed.
Not so sure he wouldn't have dropped back a couple more spots if we had stayed green.
Okay, now they have to take on a large fuel stint here. So this is clearly, if they want tires, they could do it. Nobody takes it. Oh, my. Do we have somebody getting out of there? I thought maybe the blue car Blocker might get it. Blocker's going to get second. Saunders in third. All right. Settle down, Soup.
Saw a couple drivers take tires there.
Goodman, Blocker, Saunders, Brandt, and Guerin. Hey, Dandy Dan up into the top 5. We'll take this opportunity to take another short break. Don't go far. We'll be back before we go green.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
The iRacing Esports Network is the bacon. The Global Sim Racing Channel are the eggs. That tasty combination brings you live as it happens coverage of the American Cancer Society 150 from Iowa Speedway. We are working lap number 110 of a scheduled 172. Let's talk about HPP. They are awarding a set of pedals valued at over $1,395 to the season champion. HPP, that set of pedals is something you want to have. True hydraulic braking system. You can't beat that. Visit hppsimulations.com to check it all out. HPP designed to go fast, built to last. And I'm telling you, here's a guy who's been going fast all night long. Can he last? We're talking about Michael Goodman. Adam Blocker now in second. Look at the run from Alex Saunders. He's going to gobble up Goodman like the Pac-Man on steroids. Dives it down to the inside. Blocker says no. Goodman out in front.
Curious to see how Saunders reacts on this stint here, if he can get back up in second or challenge for the lead, or if he's going to be content sitting in third right now. We saw there on the first green flag lap there, he was very aggressive trying to get around. As the caution comes back out,
Robert Dudley, got George Adams, who was having a great day. What happened to Dudley? Dudley's car, well, he put it in the wall, and he lost all of his momentum, and then Adams had nowhere to go.
My beautiful dandelion.
Yes, indeed.
It's ruined. Heartbreaking.
Aren't those the things you pick out of your lawn and blow them and all the things go off of them? That's kind of Kind of what happened to him there.
Yeah, yeah.
Whee! I'm not sure who that was that went underneath him. Somebody got lucky. Well, we went green. We had such a nice little green flag run to start this race. Things are getting a little hectic here now. We come back live. Well, Nick, you're starting to get a feel for the drivers. You're starting to get an understanding of who's got what. We have, are we good to go from here? Let's see. They've been out there for 7 laps. Oh, I got to do math. Yeah, let's look at it again. Let's bring up the race analysis. 72. Yeah, they are clearly within the window, so we are good to go. All right, Nick, that means you just got to look out there, pick yourself a winner. What do you like?
I mean, I don't want to steal the pick from you, but it's hard not to go with Michael Goodman.
It is indeed.
If I had to pick a dark horse, though, let's go Bob Mikus. He took tires. You know, that might play a factor here late in the race. There's going to be some chaos, maybe some lap traffic. I'll go with Bob Mikus with my dark horse pick here.
I like that one as well. Bob would appreciate that also. Of course, Bob Mikus not out there in the Van Hansen's meat machine, so I'm not allowed to talk about Von Hansen's meat market because he's not driving that car. If I could, I'd tell you to check him out and get some of their flavored pretzels. But once again, he's not in that sponsored car tonight, so I won't mention it.
What kind of flavored pretzels are we talking here? Are we talking like...
I don't know. They're flavored. They're good.
Just good flavored. Gotcha.
Oh. I cannot express the wonderfulness of the Von Hansen's flavored pretzels. And I only bring that up in case you're a vegetarian and you want to support the sponsors, but you don't know how because it's a meat market and, you know, they don't have much tofu there, I don't think so. But their pretzels, oh.
I'll have to go out to the store and do myself a little shopping.
Yeah, as you go. VonHansens.com. And if you've got a sweet tooth, Dwar's Candy. Don't want to go wrong there. And if you need some wall art, Plasmatracks.com. Maybe you want to shoot off some rockets. How about Lock Precision? They're always good to have around. And if you want to find out about sim racing, don't forget to go to the Sim Pit. All right. I believe I am done. Oh, the lights are still on. I could go on for a while. Welcome to the Lionheart IndyCar Series. You know, we are so happy to be part of the... Oh, that's the Retro Series. Thank you. We are so happy to be part of the iRacing Esports Network. We hope you're enjoying the show. The lights are going to go off the pace car. So here we got it. Here's the story. We got Michael Goodman. He has been the class of the field all night, but really, has he been the class of the field, or he's just happened to always be in clear air? Your points leader is Alex Saunders in third. The guy trying to catch him in the points is Adam Blocker in second. So Blocker going to make up a little ground if things stay where they are. Dan Guerin is back in fourth. And then, of course, Bob Mikus, our dark horse to win this thing, in fifth.
I'm not so sure how much of an advantage Clean Air has been. I mean, he's had all the lap traffic to deal with as well. Goodman up front there. So maybe just fast tonight, you know?
Our hard charger, Brian Yazek, sitting down in ninth. All right. The lights are off the pace car. It peels, and so does the roar of the engines. Michael Goodman across the finish line right now, working lap number 118, being stalked by Adam Blocker.
That was a crazy start by Bob Mikus there. He went up on that outside. You are allowed to pass on the outside on those restarts, and Bob Mikus took full advantage over Dan Guerin over that.
Listening to the broadcast, heard your pick from. Wants to see if he can make the new commentator smarter than he actually is. Bob Micah's up into 4th. Garen back into 5th. Back half of your top 10. Lanini, Cohn, Schoen, Yasik, and Jake Wright. The leaders come across. 1, 2, 3. We ride on board with Alex Saunders.
I'm surprised these leaders, after a couple, 2 or 3 laps here after the restart, they're still right nose to tail. Saunders pushing hard there.
He sure is.
Gets right up next to the wall off of those turns.
Gets a good run out of 2, closing the gap up into 3. Ducks it down for a little clean air, gets some good momentum off of 4. He's only a car length back. Does he want to force the issue into 1? He does not. He's right on the back of Blocker. Maybe he learned this lesson from the last time when he got a little too close to Goodman.
Saunders has a 37-point lead over Blocker right now in the standings, but every point matters, and he doesn't want him to get any ground on him tonight.
They race 2nd and 3rd. They're opening up a gap on Micahs. Well, once Micahs got around Garen, he left him behind. How about this battle back? Oh, my goodness, back here. The car making the move on the outside. That is Yazik. Down low underneath. That's Hacker, Ron Hacker. Tony Schoen. Schoen looking back at Hacker. Hacker goes low. Schoen is pinned behind Cohn. Boy, Hacker had it, took it in really deep. Car got a little wiggly.
Not giving anyone much room here as we get towards the end of the race. And just as I say that, Ron Hacker.
That's called shutting the door.
I think that was slamming the door on Tony Schoen.
Up front, not missing much. The front 3 cars race about 8 car lengths apart. This is where the action is. First car in line that just went under you. That's Mark Cohn in 7th. Ron Hacker trying to get that spot.
Great showing from Mark Cohn tonight. We've seen him slowly make his way up through the field, up to 7th now.
Now getting down there, Hacker. Who's going to lead at the line? It's going to be Cohn for now.
I'll be interested to see
okay.
50 laps from now, or 40 laps from now, what the preferred line at the finish is going to be. There's going to be a lot of side-by-side battles, gaining up little bits of points here and there. Be interested to see if you want to be on the inside or the outside coming to the line. But so far, it's been the outside all night.
Our leader comes around, working lap 131, 42 to go. Let's take a quick look at our hard charger. It is indeed Brian Yazik back in 10th position. Fending off Chris Stouffer. Stouffer on the inside, Yazik on the top side. What we can do is we can learn lessons for what's going to happen up front. You can see these guys try to get in there.
A lot of guys when they...
Yazik, talk about taking it high, puts it in the wall. He's going to lose the position. Now to Wright, and now to Johnson. We go on board with our hard charger. This is just... Boy, I don't know.
The higher you get into it, the higher you go into a turn, the more arc you can get out of the turn. And Yazik found out the maximum level he could go in there.
That was on, like, corner entry, though, right? He was just trying to get as wide as he could.
I think so, yeah. Doesn't seem to have hurt him too much, though, because he's battling with Jake right now.
Yazek, responsible for our video guides to start each one of these oval broadcasts. I didn't see that line. So Yazek back into 11th, Wright and Scott Johnson closing in on him. How's our spotlighted driver doing? Well, Samuel Ryman started 28th and 16th position. Doing what he does, staying out of trouble, bringing that car home.
Great battle up here for 8th place. Schoen and Cone. Cone back down to the inside. They've been going at it for the last couple of laps. And Stouffer is about to join the party.
Yeah, Cone lost all of his momentum. Stouffer underneath. Boy, does a good job of keeping it down off of Cone. Side by side. Good drive from Stouffer that time.
A little wiggle out of Cone in that turn, it looked like.
So on my clipboard, Cone was up to 7th just a little while back, so he's going the wrong direction. Nothing going on up front. They now race about 12 car lengths apart. The top 3 drivers. Working lap number 140. 32 to go. Looking at the Dodge Blue machine of Adam Blocker, racing in second, ahead of the guy. He's trying to catch in the points.
And Michael Goodman definitely closing in on lap traffic as he's coming out of turn 2. Cody Eldred going into turn 3.
Eldred in 17th, last car on the lead lap.
That might time out perfectly and give Blocker and Saunders a great chance to make some late race moves.
In fact, as I look at my timing and scoring, 17 cars are racing. They're all on the lead lap. I think anybody who is not on the lead lap is out of the race if my timing and scoring is correct. We have something we call the Dory Award, where you just keep swimming like Dory does. Nobody doing that today. No Dory Awards. Right on board with Chris Lanini. Qualified in 4th. He's being chased by Ron Hacker. Passing so tough tonight.
So it's got to be so frustrating after 145 laps to... You might have moved up your position, but it can't feel like you have made many passes. Definitely you'll feel like you've failed at more passes than you have succeeded at them.
And what we see so much, if you fail at a pass, not only do you not get the car you were trying to pass, you often lose the position to the guy behind you.
Yeah. Tough racetrack for sure. Especially in these open wheel cars that come here.
All right, well, now we got some lap traffic going on. And what this has allowed Saunders to do... Oh, well, Saunders cannot get around... that is Eldred right there. Could not get around him. Now Saunders takes it down low. Poor Cody just trying to put the car somewhere out of trouble. They come up now on Brian Beard. 24 laps And the lap traffic is going to start to come now. James Brandt in 15th, Beard in 16th.
They've closed that gap to only a few car lengths. I'm wondering if Saunders is going to try to pass Blocker, or if he's just going to kind of sit there in third and kind of wait for Blocker to make a move on Goodman and then pounce.
Again, we don't know how good Blocker is with dirty air. We've only seen him race most of this out in front. Right now, he's got his hands full with Brian Beard. He's not making up any time at all. And I'm not sure if Beard is not faster than Brandt. Those guys are going to be side by side here in a minute.
Saunders right there, about to make a move on Blocker. Couldn't quite.
Blocker's got to get, yeah.
Couldn't quite do it.
Blocker had to get under Beard that time. Saunders said, I have to get under you too. He got a great run off of 4. He's looking to the inside. Oh my goodness, he almost gets into the left rear of Blocker. Somehow he stays off of him. Now Saunders with another good run. Not sure if there's going to be enough momentum for him to get it done into 3 or 4. Meanwhile, it is Goodman who goes underneath James Brandt. A run from Saunders on the inside. Poor Brandt is on the outside. They're going to have to make it 3 wide. Brandt says, let me out of here.
And after all that, Blocker still comes away ahead of Saunders.
It's less than 20 to go. Put on your boogie shoes. Get the mirror ball spinning. It's time to boogie. That's Samuel Ryman now. Goodman underneath him. Sam doesn't want to cause a problem. Goodman cannot get a good exit off of 4. But the blue car and Blocker had nobody to worry about. He flew off of 4 and he's right there now.
Oh, Saunders got trapped there. He tried to go high to get around Blocker and ended up right behind Ryman.
Scott Johnson, you're next. They are coming and they are taking no prisoners. Goodman tries to go underneath the car, went nowhere. This is going to give some momentum to Blocker.
Yeah, that's frustrating when you come off the turn and you can't come all the way up the track. Like we just saw happen to Goodman.
Just happened to Blocker right there, as he couldn't get a full exit off because of Johnson. And, oh my gosh, as Saunders has trouble. 15 laps to go. I'm not sure if they're going to get to Jake Wright. Jake is a multi-time champion. Doesn't quite have the same success in the Lotus 79 that he did in the old DW12.
So if they can't catch Goodman, I think now the main battle is going to be if Saunders can close in on Blocker. I think he can close in on him. It's a matter of making the pass.
They come across the line. A dozen laps to go. With a 7/8 of a mile track, I will not do the math. Oh, I think they are going to get to Jake Wright.
Yeah, just a couple car lengths in front of him.
Look how Goodman can open it up. If only there was clear track ahead of him. Jake Wright has been in this position a million times as on his way to win championship. And when I say in the position, I mean in the position of Michael Goodman trying to get around lap cars.
Oh, Blocker
Oh.
just about got trapped behind him and had to let off the gas severely, but did a fairly good job managing that situation. Saunders is not going to close in much there.
With 9 laps to go, Mark Cohn and Brian Yozik could also play a factor in this one. Goodman behind Yozik right now. Yozik taking the high line, doing his best to stay out of the way.
And we were just talking 30 or 40 laps ago about how fast Mark Cohn and Brian Yazek have both been tonight. Just gives you perspective of how dominant Michael Goodman has been catching these guys.
Yazek trying to make the car invisible. It needs to take up some part of the racetrack. He's racing as high up as he can. Goodman cannot get underneath him. And a great run from Blocker.
It's the opportunities like that that Blocker needs. He needs a few more of those, and he's going to be right on that back bumper.
The pass is still not made. Now Goodman clears Yazek. Oh, and Saunders down low. And up high. 6 to go.
And all three are right back together, nose to tail again.
Mark Cohn, they're coming. And it's not one, it's not two, there's 3 of them. Across the line, let's see where Cohn puts the car. Right in the middle. That was not good for Goodman. Here comes a run for Blocker, but he doesn't force the issue. Once again, Goodman can't go there. Blocker is there. This is the opportunity. If he can get a run off of 4, he cannot. 3 to go.
Goodman!
Blocker's into him, and he gets Saunders. Where is Bob Mikus? Can this be a case where Mikus gets the win? Are all 3 drivers racing? It's a yellow
flag. Blocker got
flag.
through, I believe. He's got severe damage, but he's able to drive the car.
Blocker is through.
Unbelievable.
Look at the replay. Boom, boom.
Just out of nowhere by himself.
Right on board with the man in 3rd.
I can't imagine what Michael Goodman is thinking to himself right now.
And somehow, Blocker, who I just thought was out of it as well, managed to keep the car going. We'll go on board with Blocker. If you're watching at home, scoot down a little bit. Look at that. Can we... And we're looking at it right now. Blocker working on the pace lap.
And when you look at the front of Blocker's car, it just the perfect contact. The way he could keep him straight there for the most part. Perfectly knocked off half that wing.
Well, it was exciting indeed. A 3-car battle that ends up in tears for 2. Smiles for 1, and my partner almost made the call of the night as Bob Mikus almost stole one.
Almost. I should have bought a scratch-off ticket earlier today. I didn't.
Working out of corner number 4. Coming under the yellow and the checkered flag. Let's give the win to Adam Blocker in the American Cancer Society 150 from Iowa Speedway. Light the candles.
Are those fireworks on the backstretch, or is that your backyard with your rocket launcher from earlier there?
Those are some lock precision fly, hard fly, safe fly lock.
Very nice.
Bob Mikus, Dan Guerin gets 3rd, and before we go to break, we'll talk big picture. Blocker gets the win. Looking to see where his rival came in. Like Saunders all the way down in 17th. Was not able even to limp the car around. All right. Well, you know what's up right now. The racing is over here in Iowa, but don't go away because we just do not have a post-race show for you. We have the Plasma Tracks. What is this thing called? I'm going to get this right. It's the Plasma Tracks. We'll call it the post-race show. Victory Lane post-race show. We'll have that for you when we come back. Don't go far. Welcome back to Iowa and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophy, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit, and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your wife or spouse, it says spouse, why you need a Plasma Tracks wall art hanging on your wall in your home. Please visit plasma-tracks.com. And that'll get you there. And there we have no promo code. I don't know. There's a Lion 20, I think is the promo code for that one, to get 25% off your order. Let's go ahead and give you 100% of the finishing order here from the American Cancer Society 150. Adam Blocker. My gosh, talk about things falling into your lap. He gets the win. Bob Mikas goes from fourth to second. Dandy Dan Guerin, a very quiet third. Michael Goodman had the win, was out in front for the majority of the race, made a mistake, did it right so many times, except for the final three times from the end he makes a mistake. Chris Lanini, Ron Hacker, Christopher, just read these soup. Tony Showen, Mark Cohen, hey, nice job from the newcomer, and Brian Yazik in 10th. Nick?
Coming in at 11th, a couple of these guys up here, the hidden stars of the show that created that finish there, the lap cars. Jake Wright going to come on 11th, Scott Johnson behind him in 12th. Samuel Ryman 13th, and James Brandt in the 15 car 14th. Brian Beard 15th, Cody Eldred 16th, and then 3 laps down in 17th, Alex Saunders. A hard loss for him.
Yep.
A whole 58 laps down, and 18th was going to be Mark Amick. Robert Bluen and Robert Dudley behind them, 19th and 20th.
I'll close out the field for all these guys who ran into trouble. George, Adam, George, and Zaldo, they go 21st and 22nd. Andrew Havaketch Kinsella inside of Cody Wenzen. Bart Workman, Vincent Bluthenthal finishes in the 26th position. The 3 cars after him, Frank Beezer, the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow, and James Grahula. How about the final 3 spots? 30th, 31st, and 32nd, David Altman, Travis Jagerliner, and Chris Walker. All right, it is time for interviews. Is anybody brave enough to come in and talk to us? I guess I'll go ahead. No, why don't we give the winner? This will be fun. To my new guy here, Nick. Well, I'll let you talk to the winner. Talk to Adam Blocker.
Adam Blocker, I'm speechless after that finish. I'm sure you are too. But how surprised were you to be winding up where you are now?
Very surprised. I knew, so none of us had taken tires all race, Goodman, Saunders, and I, because it helps rotate the car. But to not take tires, which really helps when the setup was kind of understeery, at least on new tires. So yeah, I had a few moments where I was starting to get a little oversteery, and obviously midway through the race, Saunders had a moment where he got a little bit sideways and had to save it, but I was able to pass him there, and yeah, it was pretty treacherous. So I knew anytime someone went low and was pinched on a tighter line and they needed to get more rotation, there was a high likelihood of a spin. But obviously, I wasn't expecting it from Goodman, who had dominated the race and only had 3 laps to go. But I was just able to react quick enough. I caught him a little bit. I made contact, but obviously I was able to keep going, and Saunders got wiped out. So pretty much you don't like to see it, but pretty much the best thing I could have hoped for my championship hopes. And obviously a win at Iowa was pretty good too.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge championship implications for that race. Saunders finishing 17th, I believe. But tell me about it. We were taking note, Soup and I, how frustrating it was to try to just pass tonight. You were third most of the night, second after that, and you wind up first. But passing out there, just the momentum shifting didn't look fun from where we were sitting.
Yeah, with this car, it seems to either be a pack race or like strung out racing. And tonight was more strung out. You couldn't pass unless the car in front of you was in traffic. So in our case, as the leaders, we couldn't pass unless someone else made a mistake with a lap car, which that happened quite a bit. Or you could pass on restarts too. That's where I passed Mikas and Lanini on restarts because I started 5th and went up to 3rd, and then I went from there. So. Yeah, I was hoping that we went green to the point where we got a green flag pit stop, and maybe I could get a better pit in and pit out than them. But yeah, I didn't really think that I could pass Goodman or Saunders for that matter. But both of them made mistakes, and I didn't. So I ended up in front.
Yeah, I was glad I was up in the booth for that race and not down in one of your cockpits for that. That looked pretty hectic and treacherous, like you said. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go for tonight?
Just a shout out to George and the admins for running this league. Shout out to my team for the support throughout the season. And a shout out to you guys for probably doing a really good job as usual in the booth.
All right, Adam. Well, thank you there for your time. Congratulations on your win. And you have a few more races left in the season to come back here and have another Victory Lane chat with us.
Yep. See you guys at Gateway. Won there last year, so it should be a good race for me.
Adam Blocker, our winner, and he's going to either maybe even close, maybe even come back as the point leader next time around. Of course, there are drop races that always changes stuff up a bit. All right, we're going to talk to Bob Mikas right now. He finished second. Bob, I'll be honest with you. When I saw the 3 leaders get together, I immediately went back to you to see if you were going to be able to get clear of them. Unfortunately, well, I guess unfortunately for you, fortunately for Blocker, he was able to keep the car rolling.
Yeah, it was quite funny. I was so far back from those leaders in the accident that I didn't even see all the cars that got involved in it. And as we were catching up to the pace car, I'm like, did I just win this thing? I seen a whole bunch of lead lap cars that are on their roof and spun around and crashed. I'm like, I just won this thing. Keep catching up to the pace car, and I just see a bunch of lap cars ahead of me, and I'm like, I seriously just won this thing. And then I looked a little farther, and I seen Blocker. and
Yeah.
then I just got crushed.
Passing was just a bear out there. We saw you get around Garen once or twice. My gosh. But you ended up going backwards a few times too.
Yeah, I mean, passing was just so tough, and the arrow push just took effect immediately. There was a restart where I thought I had a really good restart, but it turns out I had too good of a restart, and I was just right below Saunders' rear wing, and just the arrow push was too much.
Okay, which car do you enjoyed racing more, the 79 or the IR18?
It's a mixed bag. I really like racing the Lotus 79 on the road courses. Just the way you have to manhandle these cars around the road courses are just so fun. But since it's a road car, it's not built for ovals, and I prefer the IR18 on ovals more than the Lotus 79.
Well, you know what? That's an answer that seems to make a lot of sense. I'll buy that one. The road car on the road courses and the oval car on the oval courses. Hey, congratulations! Although the IR18 obviously races both. Congratulations on the good finish here today, and we'll see you down the road in both series.
Oh yeah,
Bob Mikas. Forgot to ask him what the flavor of those pretzels were. Darn it!
Gosh darn it!
I know. Well, we'll find out next time. All right, Nick. Go ahead and talk to Dan Guerin. He finished third.
All right, Dan Guerin, best finish for you in this car. You had a heck of a race there, and you're going to wind up with a really good finish in P3.
Yeah, it was definitely unexpected. I wasn't looking to maybe even get a top 15 out of this thing. I'm not the biggest fan of the car, but it's kind of fun to drive. And it's just a huge learning curve from the IR18, in my opinion. But, you know, my teammate there, Michael Goodman, it sucks that he got wrecked. But, yeah, I'll take third in this any day.
Yeah, well, we were talking earlier. I was talking earlier with Adam there about how hard momentum was. How about tires? Were you one of the ones that took tires there and at the end there and talk me through how that was able to help you move up through the field tonight on the different lines?
Well, yes, I did take tires every time just to see. I know Michael didn't, and I don't know if that's maybe why he spun or not. He said it was getting a little slick out there late in the runs, but being I had the newer tires every time, I didn't feel that at all. But the push was so bad in these things that the tires really didn't matter, but for maybe a lap or two, that was it.
Yeah, saw a lot of different strategies in that race. How do you feel confidence-wise going into Gateway next week? Gateway, another big momentum track, a little bit similar to Iowa, but at the same time, nothing alike Iowa.
Well, as I said, this car is a big learning curve for me, and if I just finish the races, then I'll be happy. So maybe next year, if I decide to run them, then I might end up doing a little bit better. But I'm just looking to finish each race now.
All right, yeah. Well, anyone you want to give a thank you to or a shout out before we let you go tonight?
Sure, we'll give out to all my teammates there, my sponsors, Midwest Simulations and Lock Precision, and Drive for Suicide Prevention.
All right. Well, we had a great race tonight. You had a heck of a run there, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Thanks a lot.
There's Dan Guerin, our third place finisher here today. Okay, that'll do it for us. Now, I want all of you to pay attention out there as we get to these final sponsor plugs here. And I also want my partner, Adam Young, to watch this too, because this is where things always go wrong in the broadcast. And clearly, I think it's going to be your fault, because watch Nick and I, how easily we get through this. The action is over for now, but when it's time to go sim racing again, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulations.com. Nick?
Thanks, Soup. Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force, Butt Kicker products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. You want to go so far as realism? Take a trip to Soup's house when he's there. if an earthquake goes off, you will know because it was Butt Kicker.
You're gonna blow. Don't add. Let's stick to the. Okay, are we done? Did you get?
See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com and use the promo code LION20. That's LION20 to get 20% off your order.
Not that I hate that somebody starts to ad lib these plugs, see now it's going wrong. SimPit, the SimPit. You go to simpit.com, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it all out at the SimPit. I have more. To contact any of the sponsors you see on screen right now, go to LionHeartRacingSeries.com. Click on the 2018 sponsors. Read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo. On the screen now are just some of the company's equipment and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes you're watching a GSRC production comes courtesy of Eric Echolm and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. Nicholas.
The Lionheart Retro Series returns in 1 week for the Mental Health Awareness 200 from Gateway Motorsports Park Oval. GSRC via the iRacing Esports Network will be there to bring you all the action, and we hope you join us. Staying across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of all future broadcasts, you can find it at www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham.
Oh, that's still red. See, I'm colorblind. That's a different color. And if you're
yeah,
not,
you know.
Okay. And if you're not already a GSRC YouTube channel subscriber, you can become one by simply visiting our YouTube channel and hitting the subscribe button. Now we go to the blue font, which is me. Finally, on behalf of the crew, Lickety Split, Nick's, what is the last name?
That would be Schmeg, but you know, I'll take anything.
I can do Schmeg there. Amjad Yaman, Dougie Beard, and Adam Young, who's laughing right now because things didn't go like I had hoped. I'd like to thank all of you for watching on the iRacing Esports Network, and we hope to do a better job next time if you didn't enjoy this one. How can you not enjoy it? Yeah. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.